Right now at 9, investigations are underway after an officer-involved shooting in Joplin this morning. Plus, the extreme heat in the 4 states is affecting more than just weekend plans. And the annual Shrine Bowl is in full swing this weekend in Pittsburgh. We'll take you there. The KOAM News at 9 starts right now. Thanks for joining us. I'm Bella Line. An investigation continues tonight after an officer-involved shooting in Joplin this morning. KOAM's Shannon Becker has the latest details.
Yeah, thanks. We're in what is normally a quiet neighborhood, just a half block east of Cunningham Park. Saturday morning, a gunfire. Joplin police officers on patrol noticed a vehicle out of place and observed the driver passed out in the driver's seat. They ran the tag and it came back as stolen. Protocol when waking a sleeping driver who could perhaps be on drugs or alcohol. They boxed the car in so the driver can't wake up and suddenly flee.
After multiple attempts were made to get the driver to exit the vehicle, the driver attempted to leave by ramming our vehicles. Altercation continued and an officer-involved shooting occurred.
The male is identified as Scott Pegram, 35, of Joplin. He's listed in critical condition, suffering multiple gunshot wounds. 3 officers from Joplin Police were involved in the shooting. 1 was examined at a local hospital and released. Now all 3 have been placed on paid administrative leave per department policy. Missouri State Highway Patrol was requested to conduct a criminal investigation as an uninvolved third party, and their investigation continues. With more information as it becomes available from Joplin Police. Near Cunningham Park in Joplin, I'm Shannon Becker for KOAM News Now.
The heat has been no joke lately. Sam Lane is here with your forecast. Sam, please tell me we have some cooler weather ahead.
I can tell you that we have some cooler weather ahead, but we're going to have to wait just a little bit longer, and we'll have that in the forecast. But right now, this evening, radar is all clear. Now, we have had a few showers and storms the last couple of days, but it's mainly been down in southeastern Oklahoma and northeastern Oklahoma, but not today. Everyone was pretty much dry from wall to wall, but there are some storms up towards the north and west. In fact, if we could, well, something's happened with my thing here. Oh, there we go. We got storms up in southeastern Nebraska, all the way down into southeastern Colorado with some severe weather going on there. This is a sign of things to come. As this front moves in our direction, we're going to start to see some changes, but not until then. Instead, we're going to bake under temperatures close to 100 degrees, and you can see 95 in Joplin right now, 91 in Miami still at this hour, 96 for our friends in Sedan. And we've been looking at the drought conditions getting worse over the last couple of weeks, and it's only going to get worse before it gets better. A little bit closer in shows most of the area is dry, and even some areas having some severe drought, and of course that is really impacting our area farmers.
All right, thanks, Sam. For the past 2 weeks, seeing triple-digit temperatures has been normal for the 4 states. KOAM's Jalen Banks shares with us how these recent highs have impacted our local vendors at farmers markets.
The recent heat wave has forced vendors at the Pittsburgh Farmers Market to adjust. With record-high temperatures, those who farm have faced issues ranging from drought to sunburned produce. Charlie Phillips shares his struggles.
Having to water our fruits and vegetables has become a very big priority, and it's also become very expensive to do that in many cases. But then in some other cases, we have issues with food or some of our fruits and some of our melons and things like that are getting sunburned or getting spoiled.
Despite the production challenges, not coming to the farmers market is not an option for Phillips.
For us, that's not necessarily a consideration. We plan enough different items that each week we have something else typically that is in season, and so for us not to come to the farmers market would mean that we would have produce that would not be available to our customers.
Phillips knows that the heat not only impacts the vendors but the customers as well.
It does take a toll on us. We're tired when we get here, but we do appreciate everybody that comes out in the heat because we're all ready for cooler temperatures, so we really are.
In Pittsburgh, Jalen Banks, KOAM News.
Crawford County is under a heat advisory until tomorrow evening. Don't forget you can be the first to know about the day's weather with the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Get updates sent straight to your phone free of charge. It's available in the Apple Store and the Google Play Store. The KOAM Skywatch weather app. President Biden is isolating and working remotely through the weekend after testing positive for COVID Thursday morning. Now the Biden administration is bracing for the Commerce Department's initial estimate of second quarter growth next week. That will give us an idea if we're heading into a recession. Fox News correspondent Mark Meredith has more from Washington, D.C.
President Biden's condition is improving. According to White House physician Dr. Kevin O'Connor, the White House gave us a one-page update on the president's condition, and the headlines include that they believe he now has the BA.5 variant of coronavirus. That's the variant responsible for roughly 80% of infections. They say he's also completed his second full dose of the antiviral drug Paxlovid, and that he is still experiencing a number of symptoms, including sore throat, runny nose, a loose cough, as well as body aches. The doctor adds, quote, his pulse, blood pressure, respiratory rate, and temperature remain entirely normal. His oxygen saturation continues to be excellent on room air. His lungs remain clear. That's good news. On Friday, we did hear from the president via video conference. His economic team was giving him an update on gas prices. The White House certainly going to great lengths to show the president still involved in day-to-day policy discussions. And we are expecting more of an update next week, as there's going to be a major focus on the economy. There is a slew of new economic reports due out. On Thursday, the Commerce Department is going to unveil the latest GDP estimates, which some people believe could show the U.S. economy is in a recession. Republicans are already jumping all over this, insisting it's the president's policies to blame.
They've been in denial about inflation, and now they're in denial about the recession. And that's not a recipe for policies that fix things. It's a recipe for no policy at all.
But the White House points to the low unemployment rate as proof that the U.S. economy remains strong. We're going to get an idea of how the American people feel early next week. On Tuesday, the latest consumer confidence numbers are due out. At the White House, Mark Meredith, Fox News.
We take this time now to honor another one of our four state heroes. Specialist 4 Chris Peacock Sr. served in the Army and was stationed in Vietnam. His hometown is McCune, Kansas, and we're proud to name Chris Peacock Sr. a four-state hero. To learn more about other heroes or to submit a hero of your own, just go to our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Coming up, an update on how the new Suicide Prevention Lifeline is growing in its first week of operation. It seems clear that the new 3-digit suicide prevention lifeline is much needed. New data shows the 988 number received more than 96,000 calls, texts, and chats during its first week. The volume of people reaching out was up about 45% from the week before the transition. A nonprofit operates the lifeline on behalf of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration. World health leaders trying to get out in front of the rapid spread of monkeypox across the globe, taking drastic new action today to ramp up the response to the virus. Fox News correspondent Christina Coleman has the story.
The World Health Organization on Saturday pushing the monkeypox outbreak to its highest level of alert.
The global monkeypox outbreak represents a public health emergency of international concern.
That label should help pave the way for a better coordinated global response and free up funding to study shared vaccines and treatment strategies. The agency's chief making the declaration despite a lack of consensus among experts on the panel. At the end of June, there were about 3,000 cases worldwide. That number has since exploded to more than 16,000 cases reported across at least 75 countries.
Most, but not all, of our cases in Chicago have been in men, and specifically in gay, bisexual, and other men who have sex with men. That's largely because spread occurs through tight-knit social networks.
Monkeypox symptoms include headaches, fever, muscle aches, and sores and lesions that can appear all over the body and can be contagious. Vaccines are effective, but take time to work.
In this case, it can take up to 3 weeks, I believe, for this vaccine to take full effect. So being vaccinated does not give you instant protection.
The CDC has confirmed nearly 3,000 cases in the U.S. The most have been reported in New York, California, and Florida so far. Health experts' major concern is a lack of vaccines. The federal government recently ordered another 2.5 million doses, but they're not scheduled to arrive until sometime next year. In Los Angeles, Christina Coleman, Fox News.
Health officials are now investigating monkeypox cases involving children in the U.S. The CDC reported 2 monkeypox cases identified in children. One case involves a toddler in California. The other is an infant who is not a U.S. resident. The CDC says the cases are the result of household transmission and are not related. After the forecast, we'll find out how a Californian has hatched a new business plan by renting out hens.
Lots of sunny and hot weather continuing across the 4 states. We were in the triple digits once again, 5 days in a row. You can see on the Indigo sky cam, beautiful evening shaping up. You can also see in the distance a few thin cirrus clouds. That's with some anvils of some storms way off in the distance, and that's going to be a harbinger of things to come as we do have some changes coming up in our forecast. And I don't think anyone is going to complain about any changes. Right now, though, we are still going to be into the heat box with heat advisory still in effect for southeastern Kansas, southwestern Missouri, and I would suspect that later on tonight they'll include northeast Oklahoma once again in that heat advisory, with temperatures expected to be well over 100 degrees again tomorrow. This afternoon, we warmed up, right, like I said, over that century mark, 101 in Joplin, 99 in Pittsburgh, 100 in Fort Scott. Check out these numbers. These are downright grotesque. 103 in Neodesha today, 100 degrees in Nowata, a little bit cooler if you want to call 97 cooler down in Bentonville. And if we take a look at the temperatures right now, they are starting to fall off a little bit, so still in the mid 90s across the area, although Cassville is checking in with 89 comfortable degrees right now. It is a little bit comfortable out there because the dew points have been cooperating with us. Dew points have been in the upper 50s to lower 60s, and that does help out on the heat index. Once you start getting into the mid 60s in the dew points, you start feeling that sticky air, and then it becomes muggy and soupy once you get above that. So it's not been too bad here the last couple of days. Although we do see the dew points increasing as we head towards the middle part of the week, with the rain chances increasing as well. Right now, though, it does still feel like 94 in Webb City, 94 in Commerce, 97 for our friends over in Independence. Skycam on the range line camera looking pretty good, and you can see those clear cirrus clouds with those storms way off towards the north and west. 95 degrees right now in Joplin. Feels like 94 though, because the dew point is down there at 59, giving us a comfortable humidity of 30%. Temperatures tonight are going to drop down into the upper 70s across most of the area, including Joplin with 79, 74 down in Bentonville for one of the cooler readings. And you can see as we go through the evening hours, temperatures dropping into the 80s. Radar has been clear all day today, and that continues to be the case right now. But notice up to the north and west, we have storms developing. In fact, some severe weather going on in eastern Nebraska and southwestern Iowa around Omaha, with some warnings there. That is a portent of things to come as we have a front that's going to be dropping down from the north and west. But until it gets here, we're going to be in the muggies. 91 by tomorrow morning at around 10 o'clock if you head out to service. And then as we head through the afternoon, that weak cool front will drop into our area, and that means temperatures are going to be very, very warm ahead of that system. Then the front washes out as we go into Monday. I think the best rain chances are going to be up towards the north. And then as we go through the day on Monday, it turns back into a warm front lifting to the north, and we go right back into the heat with a high of around 99 to around 100 degrees. Then as we head into Tuesday, temperatures dropping down into the lower 80s, but we're going to have to wait for a stronger front to the north and west to make its way closer to us before we start to see any relief. Here's the record tomorrow. I think we're going to tie it, 103 degrees. And then as we head into Monday, we're going to see 101, still hot, and 102 on Tuesday. And then look at there, 86, can you believe that, on Friday, and 87 on Saturday, which is actually closer to normal. But until then, we are going to be in the heat for a little bit longer.
Well, I am absolutely looking forward to Friday.
Me too.
All right, thanks, Sam. Some 1,700 people under mandatory evacuation orders due to a fast-moving wildfire burning near Yosemite National Park. The oak fire sparked Friday afternoon southwest of the park near Mid-Pines in Mariposa County. Hot weather and dry vegetation helped it quickly spread. It burned more than 10 miles by this morning. Flames reportedly destroying 10 residential and commercial structures. At least 5 others were also heavily damaged. So far, there have been no reports of injuries. CAL FIRE is urging residents in the area to follow evacuation orders while firefighters battle the flames on the ground. Later, with all of the cancellations and delays this summer, a new report shows how customers feel about their recent flight experiences. Still ahead, a new business in California is receiving excellent reactions. A new government report shows Americans aren't happy about their recent flying experiences. A Department of Transportation report says airline complaints nearly tripled in May compared with the same month 3 years ago. May's top complaints were over refunds and cancellations, delays, or other flight changes. If you've ever had the dream of having fresh eggs every morning, a new business venture might just be the thing for you. An entrepreneur has hatched a new business plan that involves renting out egg-laying hens. As Cornell Bernard reports, the customer reviews are extraordinary.
There's been a lot to cluck about on Eric Strother's urban farm in Sebastopol.
They're very lovable.
He's talking about the ladies in his hen house.
They all have their own unique personalities.
All those pecking personalities are now available to rent.
Well, I've been kind of searching for something fun, kind of a side project, you know, in this world of side hustles that we're in right now.
Is it okay if I take some eggs?
Strother, who works by day as an archaeologist, has launched Rent Backyard Hens, a chance for folks across the Bay Area to become temporary at-home chicken ranchers.
You know, I figure this is a really good opportunity for people to just try it out. If they like it, you know, they like having the hens and stuff, I can come and pick all this up and they can start their own, you know, setup later.
He will personally deliver a chicken coop and 2 egg-laying hens anywhere across the Bay Area.
It takes them about maybe 10 minutes to lay an egg. They lay an egg every day.
There are some pre-screening questions to make sure you and your rent-a-hens are a good fit.
You know, do you have a dog we need to worry about? You know, is your fence or your yard fenced?
And yes, all of the backyard hens for rent have names. Meet Betty 1, and Betty 2 is around here in the yard someplace.
Gertrude, Etta, Amelia, a lot of E's.
And I love eggs, and I thought what better way to have fresh eggs every day. And
Kelly Citron from San Francisco rented her coop and hens 2 months ago.
they have character and personality. They're super smart. They escape from the yard into the neighbor's yard.
The hens are available for 1 to 3 month rentals. Prices range from $175 to $475. While the new business venture may ruffle a few feathers around here, one thing is not negotiable. Eddie the rooster is not available to rent. In Sonoma County, Cornell Bernard.
All right, to wrap up the first half hour of the news at 9, we'll find out more on NASA's new moon mission set to launch in late August after the break. NASA says it's ready to roll on a test flight to the moon, and a date for launch is set. NASA says it's now a go for August 29th. The Artemis 1 lunar mission on a 30-story rocket still has more checks to go. Launch dates could be moved based on weather and other factors. If the trial is successful, future missions will be manned. Astronauts could be on board by 2023 with a long-range goal of studying the moon for human habitation. Don't go anywhere. We've got 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports when the KOAM News at 9 returns. Right now, as the news at 9 continues, an Oklahoma farmer fears for his livestock as the heat wave and drought continues. Plus, an officer-involved shooting this morning near Cunningham Park in Joplin is under investigation. And the Shrine Bowl is back in Pittsburgh with a parade, football game, and more. Three Joplin police officers are on paid leave tonight after an officer-involved shooting this morning. It happened near Cunningham Park. According to the Joplin Police Department, officers on patrol noticed a vehicle with a driver unconscious inside. A run of the tag came back with the vehicle listed as stolen. The officers then boxed the car in so the man couldn't flee when he woke up.
After multiple attempts were made to get the driver to exit the vehicle, The driver attempted to leave by ramming our vehicles. Altercation continued and an officer-involved shooting occurred.
The man in the vehicle is in the hospital in critical condition. The Missouri Highway Patrol is conducting a criminal investigation into the incident as an uninvolved third party. It's been a hot last couple of weeks in the 4 states. Sam Lane joins us with the forecast.
Thank you very much, Bella. Yeah, it's been very hot across all of the 4 states, and that continues into this evening. Although it's a nice, pleasant evening out there as far as the sky can goes, you can see some cirrus clouds with some storms way off toward the north and west. But look, check out the high, 102 this afternoon. And if you're wondering if that was a record breaker, it was not. It was pretty close. The record was 105 back in 2011. Check out normals, 91 this time of year, but we're well above that. And we're seeing temperatures falling into the 80s right now, but radar is clear and has been all day. But check out this. Some big storms going on in eastern Nebraska and southwestern Iowa, including some severe thunderstorm warnings for that area. This is a sign of what is perhaps going to affect our area as we move into the early part of next week. There is a cold front up here, and by the time it gets down here, it's going to be a cool front. So we'll have more details on that coming up in the forecast, so stay tuned.
All right, thanks, Sam. Extreme heat continues to bake parts of the country. In Oklahoma, one farmer says heat and drought are killing his livestock. He fears it will only get worse as the heat wave continues. Amanda Gilbert has the story.
Even the animals are frustrated at Bill Cook's Bigsby Farm as they grasp onto the dwindling water across his property.
Typically, the water level's up to here. It's about maybe 35, 40 inches lower than what it typically is.
Since last week, Cook bought almost $2,000 worth of water and cooling units.
You have to do what you have to do in order to take care of your animals.
But some of his livestock has died, mainly chickens and ducks.
They just can't get cool enough. And like I said, we can't get cold water to them.
He is worried about losing his larger animals.
They'll stay most of the day in this area right here because of the shade.
And Bill says the llamas are especially distressed because of their longer fur.
Typically, what they'll do is when it gets hot like this, they'll go in the pond and they'll just stand there and they'll get down on their knees so their body can get all wet. But as you can see, we've just about lost the pond and I have no way to get water to it.
Bill says this problem isn't new to town.
It's been going on for several years. Last year, we were out of water for 3 days, the year before for a couple of days, and so it's an ongoing issue. Now it's just become emergent.
Urgent, as he worries about the next hot week ahead.
The city of Bixby announced Friday evening that a pump to help solve the water problem has been delivered. They expect it to be operating by tonight. The Labette County Fair wrapped up today. This is what we saw earlier this morning when our crews were there. That's a lot of cleaning up going on. The final event is a Demolition Derby that started at 8 p.m. at the fairgrounds in Oswego. A heads up for anyone going to Joplin City Hall starting next week. Starting Monday, the west entrance will be closed for 6 weeks. A new and improved ADA accessible ramp is being built. In the meantime, all visitors and employees are asked to use the north and east doors. An ADA entrance is also available at the east doors. New York City has temporarily closed a beach for swimming due to shark sightings in the area. This is just the latest in a series of sightings and encounters along New York's Atlantic coastline. Fox News senior correspondent Laura Engel has the story.
An unusual shark season here on Long Island this summer with multiple reports of shark attacks. That combined with the current heat wave that we're having, and you've got a recipe for some dicey activity in the water.
I didn't go that deep. Just got to get ready for a punch if they come nearby.
It has been a shark season like no other, with at least 6 reported shark bites this summer along the shores of Long Island.
If you look at some of the attacks that have happened recently, it's a bite or two and the shark leaves. They don't come back to maul the person or finish the job or finish the meal.
Check out this video taken by a beachgoer on Rockaway Beach this week. A woman catching a shark jumping up out of the water and spinning around before splashing back in. If that's not enough to unsettle your swimming nerves, a dead juvenile great white shark washed up on the shores of Quogue near the Hamptons. Marine experts say the south shore of Long Island is believed to be a nursery for great white sharks and that that they are not uncommon in these waters. They get curious when there is splashing or kicking around in the waves.
That is almost like, again, a dinner bell. And it's like, ooh, what is this? Is that a dead fish over there? A dying fish? Something struggling? Let me go over and check it out. After a bite or two, they realize, I can't eat this.
The shark attacks have been happening since June 30th this year. The most recent Wednesday, when a 16-year-old surfer got a 4-inch gash on his foot while paddling out into the waves along Fire Island. That's about an hour away from where the great white washed ashore.
I didn't see anything coming. I felt on my foot like a bear trap. It probably held on for about 3 seconds. It bit down really hard. I have a few puncture wounds on the left side, and on the right there's a good-sized gash.
New York State Department of Parks and Recreation releasing this video showing a shark chasing bait fish near the shoreline off Jones Beach, illustrating how these sharks often come close to swimmers when they are on the hunt for food. So if you are going to go out for that swim, experts say make sure you don't swim in the pre-dawn hours or at dusk when sharks are most likely feeding, and always make sure there's a lifeguard on duty who can be watching your back. In New York, Laura Engel, Fox News.
After the break, we'll get a closer look at the 2023 Kia Sportage Hybrid. Kia is upgrading one of its top models. Fox's Gary Gastelou has a look at the 2023 Kia Sportage Hybrid.
This is one of the hottest new cars on sale today, and not just because this 90-degree sun is baking its shadow matte paint. The Kia Sportage is all new for 2023, and car buyers can't get enough of them. They're being sold for 20 and even 30% over list in some cases. And that's especially true for this first ever hybrid model. The actual sticker price for the hybrid starts at $28,585 and runs up to $37,485 for a fully loaded SX Prestige like this one, not counting the nifty paint, which is a $595 option. The new Sportage is over 7 inches longer than the one it replaces, has tons of rear legroom and cargo space, and an upscale interior with a standard widescreen digital display. Additional features on the SX Prestige include a 360-degree camera that can be as entertaining as it is helpful, blind spot cameras, and a highway driving assist with adaptive cruise control and lane centering ability. The hybrid powertrain is rated at 227 horsepower, making this the most powerful version of the Sportage. It's rated at 43 miles per gallon combined in front-wheel drive models and 38 with all-wheel drive. It has a slightly unusual hybrid configuration that combines a 1.6-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine with an electric motor and a 6-speed automatic transmission instead of one of those shiftless, continuously variable transmissions a lot of hybrids use. And it has these panels behind the wheel that let you change those gears manually, so you can pretend you are a very efficient racing driver. You're probably not going to do much of that, but what you can do is sit back and enjoy what may be the quietest and most comfortable ride in the class. The hybrid's also rated to tow up to 2,000 pounds with both drivetrains, but one has an additional advantage. Along with the extra traction, another bonus the all-wheel drive version of the Sportage Hybrid comes with is that its ground clearance has been increased from 7.1 to 8.3 inches, which doesn't turn it into an off-roader, but could come in handy in the snow, or if the paved roads by you look more like they aren't. In the 2023 Kia Sportage Hybrid, Gary Gastelou, Fox News.
Still to come, Pittsburgh is hosting the annual Shrine Bowl this weekend with the parade and more.
Well, friends, it was another scorcher across the 4 states with temperatures well over 100 degrees. Once again, temperatures right now are starting to fall into the 90s and 80s. Taking a look at our Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, you can see a pretty pleasant evening out there. There are a few clouds, though, off in the distance, and that is associated with the frontal system that is going to start making its way towards us, and that means some cooler air is going to potentially be impacting our area, and I don't think anyone is going to be complaining about that. But until then, we do have some heat advisories still in effect for southeastern Kansas and southwestern Missouri. Don't be surprised if Oklahoma gets included in this again tomorrow, but right now that's where they are officially in effect. Temperatures right now, as I said, are dropping down into the mid-90s across our area, 90 in Pittsburgh, Fort Scott, Nevada, 92 up in Stockton, and 87, the cool spot right now, over in Cassville. Let's take a look at the dew points because that is what's really helped us out as far as the comfort level. You can see dew points have been in the mid-60s across our area, even a few upper 50s thrown in like Cassville with 56 and 57 in Neosho and 57 down in Anderson. And that's helping with the sticky level because once you see dew points in the 60s, mid 60s, it starts to get sticky. So it's not been that bad over the last couple of days, but the humidity is going to start to increase ahead of that frontal system that is off towards the north and west. And that means temperatures are going to start to feel a little bit more muggy out there. Right now, it feels like 91 in Pittsburgh, 90 in Lamar, 94 in Webb City, but still feels like 96 at this hour in Nowata. Looking at our range line camera, it looks pretty good with a few clouds out there off to the north and west. It's 90 still at this hour. It feels like 90, and that's because the dew point is 62, giving us a comfortable humidity of 39%. Lows tonight are going to be in the upper 70s to right around 80 degrees once again across our area. 74 in Mount Vernon and in Cassville, 78, one of the warmer readings down in Bartlesville. As we look at the radar, all clear tonight and will probably remain so for at least the next day or so. But notice big storms up to the north and west along that frontal system, and that is going to push our direction. But it's not really a cold front, it's more like a cool front. We're going to have to wait a few more days before the actual cold front arrives from the north and west. But in the meantime, we're going to stay in the muggies with temperature upper 80s to right around 90 degrees tomorrow at around 10:30. Then tomorrow afternoon, the front drops down into our area and it's going to get very hot right along that boundary. And temperature's not really that much cooler behind it, 92 in Nevada. Then as we go through Sunday, notice the model is forecasting storms and activity developing in our area, but I think this is mainly going to be up towards the north. And we're going to have to wait a little bit longer before we finally get a break in this summertime pattern. Temperatures are still going to be close to 100 degrees as we move into Monday. And then as we move into Tuesday morning, a little bit more in the way of clouds. But here's the bigger front, and that's going to be moving in our direction as we head over the next several days. All right, tomorrow we're expecting a high of 103, which is going to tie the record. And then as we go into Monday and Tuesday, the 100s are back once again. But Bella, look at that. 86 degrees on Friday and 87 on Saturday, which is actually pretty closer to normal.
Well, with the last 2 weeks, the way that they've been, I'm so excited to see 80
Me too.
something.
I think everyone in the 4 states is going to be happy to see that forecast.
Absolutely. Thanks, Sam.
You're welcome.
All right. This morning was the Shrine Bowl Parade taking place in downtown Pittsburgh. Both East and West teams were in the parade, along with the Kansas Mosanic All-State Marching Band and cheerleaders, classic cars, clowns, and much more. The Kansas Shrine Bowl is a nonprofit charity raising funds and awareness for the Shriners' children. The Shrine Bowl started back in 1974. Their motto is, "For the kids, more than a game."
It's a very humbling experience. I'm very proud of him. He's such a good boy. He has an amazing heart, and for him to see these children the other day, they got to visit with these children on Wednesday, and he said it was just such an amazing experience, one that he'll never forget, and it truly has changed him.
Angie said that the players for the game are nominated and then chosen based on not only their athletic skill, but their sportsmanship. Coming up in sports, the Joplin Outlaws made program history with the South Division win, plus former Oklahoma Sooner Kyler Murray re-signed his contract with the Arizona Cardinals. Danny Terzer has that and more next.
The Joplin Outlaws have won the South Division title for the first time in program history, but before they look ahead to the playoffs, there's one game remaining on their regular season schedule. Joplin plays their regular season finale tonight against Sedalia. Bombers lead this one late. It's 5-2 in the 8th inning. It's day 2 of the all-area fantasy basketball camp in Frontenac. 8 KU men's basketball players are helping coach this year's camp. Today and Sunday are open for 3rd through 12th graders. They ran through drills and played scrimmages with the national champs as their coaches.
I knew it was going to be a great camp. It's going to be a great opportunity to meet KU players and give us a bunch of tips on how to get better. Sean and Kevin have been teaching me a lot on how to handle the ball and take care of it.
I was on Bobby's team, and he just seemed like a really great guy, really competitive, but yet was great and joked with us and just had a great time with us. So that kind of meant a lot to everybody.
The 2022 Kansas Shrine Bowl is finally here, and some of the top football players in the state are showing off their talent tonight in Pittsburgh. West faces East at Carney Smith Stadium, and 8 local guys are on this year's East team roster. West side in the red zone, Gerard's Brecken Troike makes a big 4th down stop. West turns it over on downs. They quickly get the ball back. Ashton Villa-Gomez gets the easy pick. That sets up this. Lance Hofsmer takes it around the far side for a touchdown. 6-0 West. This game all defense though. Chanute standout Colton Lacrone flies in for the tackle with teammate Daniel Brown. That forces the West to punt. It stays 6-0 at half. Now 9 minutes left in the game. West leads 7-2. Arizona Cardinals quarterback Kyler Murray signed a huge contract extension this week. The former Oklahoma Sooner agrees to a 5-year deal worth $230.5 million. That makes the 2-time Pro Bowler the 2nd highest paid NFL quarterback annually, behind Aaron Rodgers. That's a look at sports. We're back after this.
You still have a chance to become a Mega Millionaire. Friday night's Mega Millions drawing did not produce a ticket matching all 6 winning numbers. The jackpot rolls over once more to now at least $790 million with the next drawing on Tuesday night. There are now only 3 bigger jackpots that have ever been won in any lottery game. At $1.5 billion Powerball jackpot is the world record from January 2016. I mean, I don't know what I would do with $790 million. I mean, do you have any idea?
Let's find out, shall we?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the only numbers I can come up with, unfortunately, are not lottery numbers, but high temperatures. And we're looking at record tomorrow, tying the record at 103, and the heat wave continues right through Wednesday. But look at there, a front drops down on Wednesday night into Thursday, dropping our temperatures back to more normal levels, and 94 on Thursday with a 40% chance of storms. That continues into Friday and Saturday with pleasant conditions. And check a look at this, 88 on Sunday, 92 on Monday, and 93 on Tuesday with a chance of storms on Monday and Tuesday. So it looks like we're going to go into a phase shift, and it looks like this summer heat wave is going to be broken finally on Wednesday. But don't worry, I'm sure there's plenty of summer left, as we still had the whole month of August to go.
Well, I'm praying and hoping that it stays that way.
Me too.
All right. That's our time for now. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you back here next time.